I don't know how much of a plans canceler I am because I am first and foremost a people pleaser. I am, in my mind, the people's princess.
I did hear that urine and semen are good for plants.
Is that true?
I've heard urine is, at least. I'm sure semen is the same.
I think urine and semen are pretty different.
Oh, let's get
Urine
into
and
this.
semen
Let's
are
start on
so
this.
similar. Are we rolling?
Are we rolling, Ryan? Okay,
Thank you.
Let's get into this real quick.
Okay.
Speaking of semen.
Yeah.
Actually, why I say semen? That was top of mind. Speaking of piss.
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of piss, are you familiar with the communities of people that believe in the healing properties of piss?
Like as a...
To drink?
To drink.
To drink?
To like they wash their hair with it.
Yeah.
They like.
Who are these
They believe in the
communities?
medicinal properties of piss.
There's a lot of... There are actually probably a lot of them in fucking
Yeah.
LA, and they probably shop at Erewhon.
Really?
Probably.
How do you know a pro piss person?
I don't, but I do
don't.
know that there are Facebook groups that are dedicated to it. There's TikTok
Facebook group.
You know a lot.
communities.
Maybe
I've assumed that
Kyle.
I'd be
That's
joined by
interesting.
people who know more about it. I'm a little.
I don't like that you thought Von Schack will have her finger to the pulse of the pro piss community. No, but you know what I will say? It's a little unrelated. A couple years ago, we had a HVAC guy come in to look at our AC.
Pissed in it.
And he pissed all over it. And I thought, that's interesting, but refreshing. No, it was during like a big heat wave. And I simply could not do anything but wear a one-piece bathing suit. We got into the house. It was so hot. And he came in and I went, this is really inappropriate. And I'm really sorry that I'm in a one-piece bathing suit. And he was like, no, I do a lot of work in West Hollywood. And there's a lot of nudists there. I go, what do you mean nudists? He goes, yeah, the people who come over and they have me come over and fix their AC and they're nudists and fully in the nude.
That they're not nudists. They're cruising.
They're cruising.
Yeah, that's the perfect cover.
what I thought. I was
sorry,
like,
I'm a
Is he
nudist.
is he like a hot HVAC guy?
I thought I would say he was a normal, he wasn't unattractive. He was very sweet, very charismatic, but it wasn't like I was like, oh,
I
mother may
famously
I.
have met a man through that. Like
Is that true? Like you dated
Are
someone?
we gonna tell this story right now?
No, I'll make it short and sweet. But a guy
No.
came
If
to
we're gonna
fix.
tell it.
A guy came to fix my boss's HVAC, and I ended up sleeping with him for a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Is it still ongoing?
It might still be happening, but I don't know. He might have ghosted me, but we're not sure.
Has he ever fixed your HVAC? That's not a euphemism. I mean, has he come over and like fixed
no,
something?
because I live in an apartment and I don't really have HVAC.
Okay. This is all really good to know.
But that's why I asked, is he a hot HVAC guy?
In my memory, because I was in a one-piece bathing suit, I wasn't like, hey there, sailor.
Hey.
Like I just was kind of like,
Yeah.
hello. But so I think if there's nudists
Yeah.
roaming, and his big issue is I was sort of like, well, where do you rest the eyes?
Mm-hmm.
It was like when you're talking to someone, because I have a little bit of a difficult time making eye contact.
You rest at the eyes.
Yes, and he was like, you really can't look anywhere else. But then he said it's sort of a catch-22, right? Because then if you don't look, they're a little offended.
What?
I know.
They're definitely not nudists. They were definitely just cruising.
Trying to hook
Well,
up. Yeah, WeHo feels a little
doing
sus.
weird. Like there are people who will be like, yeah, like I come over and fix this thing, and then they'll just be kind of like
It's a
walking
way to get
around.
someone into their apartment.
Yeah. Like when I cleaned apartments, people would do some weird stuff.
Weird
where
stuff.
they'd,
Yes.
like,
Really?
They'd like leave sex toys out or something.
I'm whatever the opposite of that is. I want to be so neutral.
Yeah, same.
When people come into my home, and I do
Not
have a tendency so aggressive, which is very hard for me to do. I have a tendency to whenever anyone who's doing anything that enters my home, immediately I'm like, would you like a seltzer or a Coke or a water? Like I'm like I
Go
want you
into
to
like host mode,
see me
mom
as like a
mode.
mommy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah,
I'm a
but that
safe
can be
wo-
dangerous
that can be
territory
safe.
too.
You know.
Well, Mimi, thank you so much for being on this pod.
Oh
You
my
already have brought
gosh.
such a fun energy.
Yeah.
To
Fun
today.
energy, a nurturing energy.
Yeah.
Well, a motherly energy.
A motherly energy.
A motherly
so,
energy.
And as we all know, a mother never cancels on plans.
Yeah.
It's true.
She has a full schedule,
Yep.
and she tends to it with care. Is that something that you identify with?
I don't identify with being a mother at all.
That's right. So you're lying to me.
Okay.
You go.
No. I'm just kidding. Yes, I do. I'm of two minds when it comes to the canceling of the plans. Now, I don't think I'm going to shock anyone with the look that I'm wearing today. That like I do a lot of pre-planning
Okay.
of an outfit before I see.
That's true.
people.
I've never seen you not looking really great.
Thank you very much. I think part of it is being a bigger girl that I'm like, I feel I really need to serve a look. But I frequently do something, and I did it today, where if I have plans with someone, I will dress in a style that I think either mimics them or
interesting.
is sort of inspired by them. So it's either their color palette is and because Kyle's gay, I have
Because gay.
That's
gay.
all you know about Kyle. Yeah.
Because and I don't want to learn anything
And
else.
there's puddles
Totally.
of some type of liquid.
Yeah,
gay.
well, there's
gay.
and piss and
Totally.
but generally speaking, like
Yeah.
I almost texted to be like, hey, what are the colors of like the studio so I
Yeah.
can kind of match. So if someone can't, I'm not upset if they cancel me. I'm just sort of like, well, that's an outfit that now has to sort of go in the kitty for next time because
Yeah.
I've pre-planned the look.
Yeah.
But I also am someone with my personality where it gets truly like people will leave my house and be like, okay, huge switch turns off. Nothing here. No personality. Empty. Vessel. Nothing.
Because you give so much.
I give too much, honey.
That you're left
I
empty.
give too much. But it's also, I just love the feeling of being boring. I'm addicted to being boring. I think it's really fun. I love that when my partner comes home, they get the absolute worst of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why we've connected so hard over the last few months. Mimi and I have got very close.
Because you see when I go,
But that's the biggest, I think that's the most romantic thing is like
It is
you can
romantic,
be,
yeah.
you being around someone and not having to be on. Like you get to just, like nothing sexier to me than someone's like, you know, I'm actually like pretty shy and like around you I can be like quiet. We don't have to like make conversation.
Yes.
I'm like,
That is sexy.
That means you like trust me and like me.
yes.
You know you're close to someone, you don't have to make conversation.
Yes.
You trust me and like me enough to help me make me go away.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Power
disappear
down.
me together.
Let's freaking
Yeah.
do it. It became a joke with my partner and I over the pandemic because we had already kind of run out of things to say to one another. But
For sure.
we were starting to unpack what my real personality was because I was like, I'm not performing. I'm not really around any friends
Yeah.
anymore. And it turns out my real personality is just making really quiet observations about things. Being like, oh, you know what is amazing is cool glass of water on a hot day. And my partner would be like, yeah, that's amazing.
I kind of love that.
And I'd be like, oh my God, look at those trees. Nothing. There's
that.
nothing here. Honey.
You know? No, that's great. And I feel like those
It's
are
all
things.
a facade.
Those
It
are
is.
things
It's
that
all
I feel like
performance.
when you're like a teenager or a kid, like if you're around adults who do that, you're like, oh, we're in the car. All they do is just
Yes.
comment on the signs and stuff.
Yes.
But we were wrong. What they have reached is nirvana.
Is
Yes.
Nirvana.
Is-
They've reached a place of peace.
Yeah.
And I am absolutely my mother's daughter in that I will frequently stare out into space and really look like I'm solving the mysteries of the universe.
Yeah.
Really stare out into space and then be like, I have to pay the water bill. And there's nothing there.
Damn, she's so real for that.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels so good. So if someone cancels a plan on me, I go, fantastic, I can power down.
Yes. You don't have to get dressed up. You can literally
I've
say.
powered down. I've powered down. The metaphorical wig is off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
In many
you,
ways, my wig is never off because these are extensions. But
I
the
was going to say your hair
metaphorical-
looks really good.
It's fake.
That's hard to do with like that color red.
Thank you.
Because it looks perfectly matched. I wouldn't have guessed those were extensions.
Well, it all gets dyed at the same time,
Okay.
so it gets attached.
But it looks so.
Thank you. It's the most
Normally-
expensive thing I own. Just in my car.
I mean, it's worth it. I know dyeing hair in LA is so fucking expensive.
To live and die here in
To
LA.
live and die.
To live and die in LA.
But I go to a gal where I really like her personality, so it helps. But we do a lot of turning off of the brain because she has a TV that's like reflected in the mirror.
I love
And,
that.
and some days I'll come in and we just want to like gab and chat and
Yeah.
kids and everything. And then there's other days where she's like, should we put on Charlie's Angels too? Silence.
That,
And we
you're
just
speaking,
watch-
you're
we
speaking his
watch-
language.
And we're just
Tell me
watching
about it, sister.
Charlie's Angels too in pure silence.
Well, hair appointments take like fucking
let me tell
4
you-
hours.
And let me tell you, it wasn't good. It was great. I wish I could. This is where we zoom in super tight, and I have a Demi Moore single tear.
God, Demi Moore in that. Actually, all of them in that movie
Yeah.
were all sort of like
Really incredible.
really incredible. I don't think a person or a thing can make you bisexual,
But that movie.
but I think
Can.
if you can, when she's on the fur
Totally.
jet and kill me.
Yeah.
Leg out.
And
I
those were
actually
really
want you to kill
formative
me.
years. Those
Yeah.
were really
They're
formative
really
when
formative.
that movie came out.
That sinewy leg.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? That little.
Kyle has actually tried to sit like I've watched Charlie's Angels 1 like the reboot, whatever. But I don't think I've sat through the second one fully. You've tried to get me to, and then I remember I was like too tired. And then you were so
I sat down with her and Lucy, and they both got distracted.
Yeah.
They were like, "We're tired," and I was like, "This is crazy." This is.
It's
I was like, "This is
so
about
good.
sisterhood," and my sisters are
You
gonna
should
leave.
be watching that. Are you listening?
Kyle is so upset.
Are you
really
listening?
mad at
Because
them.
you might learn something.
Yeah.
I thought I said, "I'm sorry." I thought we were having fun.
Yeah. It was like so disappointing. It was like 15 minutes in. We were both like, we've had such a hard day. Like, we need to go to bed.
I was like, that's so crazy. It was so
It was
crazy.
upsetting.
That is actually crazy to me. It's so much pleather, and I think like if you can't open your heart to that level of pleather, and going out tops, a lot of going out tops.
Going
A
out
lot of going out
tops.
tops.
I don't do well around a very subdued
Me
person
too.
because I feel the need to then overcompensate,
Same. To fill the space.
and then I'm psychotic.
That actually brings us to first dates, which is kind of what we wanted the theme of today to be. I've been on so many first dates where I'm like, they're so quiet, and I'm filling the space, and I'm talking a mile a minute.
And you're like, and what happened? The conversation on the app was so good before.
Yeah.
Weirdly, where we're recording right now is like 2 blocks over from where I had some first dates. I did a lot of first dating actually on this street.
That makes sense if you're in your 20s.
Yeah. This
Now,
is where I was
when it
doing
comes to first dates, are you like, is there anything that will keep, like, there's some people that are like, I am hitting the ground running, like you could not keep me from this date, or on the day of, are you ever like, you know what? I'm not feeling it anymore. I'm not going to do it. Or do you power through?
I don't think I've ever felt that way because I love to be perceived.
Wow.
I love attention.
Yeah.
And I love dressing up, and I love the opportunity that something might change my life.
Mm.
So there
you
has
always show up to dates.
honey, I'm there. Wow. Honey, I am you think I'm not I'm there. I am
my
there with
God.
bells on, and I've been stood up on dates.
Oh.
Like twice it's happened to me. And I've been like, I'm in a great outfit, I have to go out.
I agree with
I
that.
was ready to
Yeah.
be flirting. I was ready to really turn up and turn out, show up and show out. Someone's going to get that show.
Yeah.
I'm simply not going to like take off my makeup and go to bed.
No, that's so depressing.
I'm here and I'm alive.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm here and I'm alive. I do have a really wild first date story if anyone is interested.
Please.
Yeah, let us have it.
That's the theme of the episode. So
It's a pretty raucous one. I went on a date with this gentleman who, lovely gentleman.
okay.
It did not work out between us. Lovely. We're still very much in the mix on each other's Instagrams, which is adorable.
Like DMing?
No, just like liking from time to time. You know,
Okay.
sweet man. Just didn't match each other's freak. You know what I mean? We just were not
Amen.
on the same frequency, but very sweet guy. We go on this date, and it was like one of the first dates I'd had in a while. And I was like very nervous. We go to this bar, and then we like, or it's going well. So we're like, he'll go to a second location. We walk into the second location, and the guy that I had been seeing right before him, who had ghosted me, there with all of his friends. And I was
not
like,
with his friends too.
hey. And then I have to kind of explain to the guys we sit down at the table. I was like, sorry, I was just seeing that guy. And he's like, oh my gosh, it's like, okay, like how weird is that, right? I was like, I know, so weird. And he's like, let me walk you home. So he's walking me home from the bar. And then we run into my ex-girlfriend,
Stop.
the last serious person I had been with.
No.
And it was extremely awkward. And then as we're walking home, I'd be like, that was my ex-girlfriend. And at this point, I was like 24, 25. I'd only dated like 5 people. We
all
just saw
lived in the
half of
same,
them
like,
that
mile
night
radius.
in like an hour. And this man was just like,
Yeah. I would have ran for the hills. I would have been
it
like,
was really,
she has dated everyone.
and he was so sweet about it. Then I remember we went on our second date, and it was our final date, and I thought this was the most charming thing ever. I was like, this poor man just is like, oh man, I'm with a town bike, you know, probably like who knows what he's thinking. And then we get in there.
When you're on first dates, are there ever
So rarely.
Are
I
there
hate
ever
dating.
moments?
Everything you listed about dating is
Yeah.
why I hate it.
Really?
I don't love putting makeup on.
Sure.
I don't love.
Well, you're a very beautiful girl.
Thank you.
You got something, kid.
This is a first date right now for me and you.
Okay.
You're a very beautiful
wow.
girl. You don't need any makeup.
Thank you. Thanks.
In fact,
your voice is
take
so
all that
deep
off.
and sexy. Yeah, I don't like putting makeup on, and I hate driving places. I know I'm living in the wrong city.
Interesting.
I tend to schedule dates walking distance from my apartment.
Work.
So that, I mean, but also, you know where I live. Like, I live in a very, like, bar-friendly, fun place.
And you should be only,
So, and I don't love to be perceived, like, without my control over it. Like, it all feels, I like to perform, like, I like to be on, but the issue with charismatic people, like the three of us, is that people fall in love.
I
wish I had that issue, girl. Bring that over. Never, no.
Where you're so charismatic that people think they had the best date of their life, and you're like,
oh my, you're a good dater then.
I just think
no one's ever been taken by me.
They're laughing.
No one's ever been taken by me.
Shut up.
I'm saying, with the exception of the person I'm marrying.
Relationships.
With the exception of the person I'm marrying.
We're both actively with people who are obsessed with us, but
but
they took a long time to find them.
They took a long time to find them, and I was mostly with people who were sort of like, I don't need this. It's a lot of like, I don't need this.
What are you doing,
but
Mary?
I love that you're such a, you're so bewitching and beguiling.
My like normal situation is like go out with a guy who's like, there's nothing there. Nothing. There's no chemistry. They're not asking me any questions.
Oh, say that.
They're not funny. They say stuff like, oh, you're so funny. Or like, that was funny without laughing.
Ew, I hate that.
And I'm like, I'm so icked, but I'm acting cordial and polite. And then I get the text like 2 hours after the date, like, that was so fun. Like, what are you doing on Friday? And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. You were giving too many green lights. Yeah.
I'm just such a people pleaser, I think, that I'm like, I'm indicating
the thing that I'm thinking about the context of the pod here. And I'm like, I don't know how much of a plans canceller I am because I am first and foremost a people pleaser. I am, in my mind, the people's princess. I am here to deliver for the people.
We totally voted you that. And you're in office
and I
still.
Don't know. And thank you. And I'm running for re-election.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be really challenging for me if that was the experience I was having on dates. Because I wouldn't know.
Would you say yes to a second date?
Honey, I'd be married to all of these people.
Sure.
I'd be married to 6 people right now.
Yeah.
And I do think it was a blessing that in general, men and women were not interested in me for most of my 20s, because I probably would have gotten married at like 21 to the first person who was like, you have a cool vibe.
I just like don't believe that from either of you, because funny like confident people can get anyone.
I think it's a matter of like, it's funny, like there are people who
laugh your way into their pants. There
are people who like I guess there are people that I was interested in seeing more of that were like, and like maybe there were like one or two people that like, but no one was ever really like, wow, this is going great. I think you're fantastic. Like, I'm in. No one was ever an enthusiastic yes.
No men were ever like that with me.
Yeah, like it's hard.
Some young ladies that I dated were like that, but there was almost no men who were like that.
Because women can recognize the good faster.
I think I also seem like a provider. I see. No, I'm just kidding.
It's that sultry voice.
For the most part, I had a guy once break up with me after a couple dates because he said I was too much fun. And he's married with a baby now, so I gotta know how much fun the woman he's married to is.
Yeah, like
she's gotta be just the right amount, baby.
Are you guys like going out till 4 a.m.?
No, we were like going to see a comedy show and like going and getting a plate of fries afterwards. And he was like,
That's
I don't
perfect.
know. It's just like, I met this girl and, we're having a great day, like talking about me, like, and, we're having a really good time. And I was like,
oh no.
Yeah, I think like, actually you're just like describing dating. Maybe you might be describing like falling in love.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that's such a problem.
And he said, this is too much fun. I have to go.
He said, this is too much fun.
Oh,
and
man.
then I dated another guy around that time who canceled our first date. He canceled our first date and we were talking for a long time because we met on an app.
How many hours leading up to the date did he cancel, or days?
It was the night before.
Okay.
And we had been texting and been on the phone the night before. And I was like, oh my gosh, as we were on the phone, I was like, there's a shooting on my block right now. There's like someone with a gun and like the police and the helicopters are around. And he was like, wow. So I wanted to talk to you about tomorrow.
No.
And I was like,
remember that shooting I was talking about? No. It was me. I have a gun.
I was like,
do you still not want to go?
That recently happened to a girlfriend of mine where her fucking Airbnb was broken into, and she called the guy she was talking to and was like, hey, my Airbnb was just like almost broken into. I'm so freaked out. And he was like, oh, okay. And like changed the subject immediately. Dump that person.
Truly. Well, because it's like, that's pretty much what all of life is. It's like weird little
solving crisis with your partner.
So that's why when I have friends who are dating a guy and they're like, yeah, like he's being like crazy. And I'm like, yeah, it's the first 2 months of dating where it's literally just the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the good stuff. You haven't even gotten into that. And they're unhappy then. Honey, how are they going to be happy? Like when you're in the hospital, when you have a family member who's sick, when you like whatever, like when you have the stomach flu,
a car accident.
What are they going to do? That's all life is.
Did you ever cancel a date with your current partner before you were serious?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he came on incredibly strong in a way that like I've never known anyone else to ever come on this strong. He actually tried to platonically sleep over after our first date, and this is
what was his reasoning?
I was thinking, well, it was very U-Haul of us. So we'd been talking for a long time. We go on our first date, walks me home, kissy, 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 and then I was like, all right, I'm going to bed, and Nick goes, okay, and heads to the bathroom to like wash his face.
Excuse me?
Like as if we had been living together for years.
I would think he was about to kill me.
It was so, and I went, what are you doing? He goes, I'm getting ready for bed. Like as if we were married, as if we had lived together for years and years and years. And then he goes, and this is what he follows it up with, well, we're going to Home Depot tomorrow morning. And I was like, I mean, we are going to Home Depot because he was going to like build me a shelf. Anyways. And I was like,
oh my God, wow. You guys moved at record pace.
And I was like, well, he'd already said I love you twice before this too.
Just from the
Just on
talking
the phone.
stage?
Yeah, he would like hang up. He'd be like, all right, love you. And I'd be like, stop.
How many months did you talk before you like got romantic?
Like 3 weeks. Yeah, I know.
I mean, good thing you're getting married
wild.
or else.
It was so wild. And so then I was like, go home. Go home to your house. And they were like, okay. And I was like, I'm not being weird. You're being weird. This is
Get out of here
our
and be back here at 9 a.m. for Home Depot.
And then we came back 9 a.m. for Home Depot, 2 iced coffees,
He was
some
gonna
donuts.
use your
and I was like, let's go.
face wash?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just going to like get in there. Yeah. Oh, it was the most. I've never seen anyone more relaxed and more casual in my life.
That's so funny.
My current fiance on our first date, they were sort of like, I thought we're locked in. Like it went really well. So I was like, get out.
It went so well. I'm living here now.
Truly. And also like I was 25 at the time and they were 32, which is not that crazy of a difference. But when you're 25, it is.
It is.
So I was like, this adult man is like trying to
Is this how adults date?
Like, I was like, this is so freaking serious. And then a couple weeks go by, I see where they're living, and I'm like, well, no wonder you wanted to stay over.
Did he live with roommates?
Yes, in a house that was should have been condemned and knocked down. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so he was just trying to like shack up quick.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, and I mean, I was in like
make
my
a better
little-
life.
Yo, absolutely. I think he was squatting, but it was an insane first date where I was like, get out of here.
How personally do you take it if someone flat out is like,
Cancels.
I'm bailing?
I used to take it very personally.
Mhm.
Now I go, oh, I can trust this person
Oh.
because it means when I'm spending time with them, they really want to be with me. And I don't have to worry if they kind of wish that they were home or somewhere else.
Wow,
And I think that's
such a
nice.
good response.
I really do. I'm sort of like thank you for thanks for not pushing through
Yeah.
and then being unhappy when you're with me, which I
Totally.
will, as a self-centered person, internalize as like being my failing. Do you guys feel that way a little bit? Where you're
Absolutely.
sort of like,
I totally. And when people cancel on me because they're burnt out or they're stressed, I'm like, hell yeah, good for you for like
yeah.
putting up boundaries and like putting.
Yes.
I'm always like, good for you.
Yeah. Well, because then I think you're like, well, now I know that they're telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Now I know that they feel, it's so nice. They trust me enough. They feel
They're
comfortable
close
enough
enough with you
to be truthful with me and be like, I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think the only time it bothers me is when there's any sort of spend behind it. I'm sort of like, girl, like we just bought these tickets.
That's been
or
the
something,
universal.
You know, like
Our
that's
guests-
it. But that's
yeah.
rare. That almost never happens.
The other day, I was spending time with you.
Yes.
And
Oh, no.
you said something passionate and yet profound. It was simple. Do you remember what it was?
What was it? Say
I
it.
am the truth teller, honey. I'm a teller of truth.
Let me set the scene. Mimi was sitting. We were sitting on the roof of her apartment,
The roof.
and
It's a little rough.
she had made a dirty
Dirty Shirley.
Shirley.
I love Dirty Shirley's. You and I will have to go out and get to Dirty Shirley.
An incredible experience. Swirling it around.
So scared.
No, it's not even that scary.
But also diva.
Yeah, diva. And now, this wasn't the first time you had said it, but it was like, you had said it once before to me, but I'm now attaching it to this moment because you said it a second time. I went, now it's really in my brain. And you went, you know, what I'm like, you went, now, when we say we're going to do something,
Stop.
I'm feeling like, how about we fucking do it?
Yeah. Yo, it's time to stop.
It's time to stop saying stuff.
Saying that we're going to do something. And when are we going to actually start doing it?
Do it.
When are we going to stop talking about it? When are we going to start doing it?
And could you expound on that for a minute?
Yeah,
because it seemed like it was coming from a place of passion, and that it was a and it's funny, like I feel
a call to arms almost.
Like a call to arms. There's a lot of
it feels that way.
There's a lot of platitudes and sort of like greeting card versions of things that exist a million times over. Yeah. But then one day, as you're looking at that $5 greeting card that says like, if you can't love yourself, how are you? And then you're sobbing, and you go,
yeah.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
What was that moment for you where you went?
That's a lovely question. I feel I got into my 30s and I'm very blessed. I would say the biggest, most incredible thing in my life is my friendships, which obviously you guys 100%. Understand you have each other, right?
Yeah.
I finally have found the Mary to my Kyle, so to speak, right? I found many Marys to my Kyle. I'm very lucky. And I feel I know, especially a lot of incredible women, people of all genders, but a lot of incredible women. Totally. And I have noticed that, myself included, we all do the same thing where we can get really good at something, get really good at a skill. We can get really good at something we're really passionate about, whatever it is. And then we wait for someone to say, you're good enough to do it. And that seems to be something that explicitly a certain age and demographic of people says, well, it doesn't matter that I'm really good at it. And I think it's a place of passion where it's like frustration because I'm seeing people who are ready to be
out there,
right? Yeah. They're ready to be doing it, and they have voices in their life, or they had voices in their life that's saying like, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Maybe you should be waiting until your number is called. And so it drives me nuts. And that's why I'm like, we got to stop talking about it. We have to start doing it. Yeah. Because when we talk about it, we give other people the power. And that doesn't really seem fair, right? Because you're the one doing all the work. You're the one getting all the skills ready and all these 100%. Things. And not for nothing. And this is my other new thing that I'm on, which is I'm like, it takes a lot of emotional energy to have a big dream or a big goal. And I think what breaks my heart is to see all that emotional energy be expended and then no forward motion on the goal, because it's like, well, I mean, I used to book a monthly show, and I was booking a lot of stand-ups. Male stand-ups would come up to me and say, I'd like to do your show next month. And I'd be like, cool, where else have you performed? They go, nowhere. I did one open mic once. Or I'd have guys come up to me and
confidence.
Say, yeah, do you want me to host your show for you? And I was like, no, like I'm hosting it. I'm good. Like stuff like that. Whereas I would see incredible female comedians and I'd be like, can you please do my show? And they'd be like, I gotta practice more.
Yeah.
I need more time. And I'd be like, we just gotta do it. Yeah. We have to do it. We have to be bad. Like we have to do it. And we have to be bad, and we have to stop talking about it.
100%.
Because there's a lot of people who should maybe not be doing it, or are doing it but not doing it with high ethical standards or care for how they treat other people. Yeah. And I know lots of wonderful people who have high ethical standards, and I go, honey, we got to stop talking about it. We got to start doing it because other people will, and those other people maybe won't do as much with the opportunity that you would do. So it's that frustration. And I also feel that way with like some of my friends who are struggling to date. I'm like, somebody marry this woman.
That's me.
Angry.
Put out a call to arms again.
I'm angry.
Does someone want to date me?
Marry this woman.
Yeah.
Because this is bananas.
I know. No, I know.
This is I'm bananas.
Yeah.
And I also feel the way about myself.
Yeah.
For years, I said, what are you doing?
No, I know.
What are you doing?
Why aren't you wifing me up?
I could be anywhere.
And I'm here with you.
I could be getting canceled on for tons of dates every week.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that can be, like you said, directly like related to plans. I know with like emerging friendships, for example, you need to like take the leap and hang out.
Yes.
There's so many times where you and someone will text back and forth. Yeah. Well, we got to get together. Like, I really want to be your friend outside of work or outside of UCB or outside of whatever. Yeah.
So do it. Will you be friends or what?
and you never like take the leap.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's like
yeah.
you have to take the leap or else you're not gonna be
Agreed.
friends.
I don't know if you guys feel this way. I sometimes feel like I won't do that because of my self-esteem.
Oh, for sure.
I'll think I'm not like worthy of being that person's friend.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
did that
not
with you.
true.
All
We
the
like
time.
hung out once and I was like, Kyle's too cool for me. I gotta work on my personality before we can get closer.
You're so stupid.
That is
That's the dumbest thing
crazy.
I've ever heard.
But I've done that with people my whole life because I'm sort of like, "Whew, man, they really
Yeah.
came correct.
I
to
think
that
in
hang."
LA, that's like such a
Damn, I
common
really
thing.
nailed it that night.
You nailed
Let's
it.
fucking go.
Yeah, you brought the noise and the funk.
Should
Let it be
we?
known.
Should we role play? Do you want to give
Oh,
us?
okay, yeah. So we have a little section.
acting.
We do a little
Yeah.
acting.
I love acting.
We know we can trust you with this.
If you could slate and show the camera your hands.
Yeah.
I'm
What's your
actually
height?
missing the tip of this finger. So every
Excuse
time
me?
I'm missing the tip of my ring finger. So every time I show hands, I'm like,
How did that happen?
got caught in a door.
Oh.
Gruesome.
It doesn't look like you're missing.
So
it.
when you show people
a
your
nails
when you show
are-
people your ring, are you like
I'm like, I did for a while. It took me a couple months actually to get comfortable wearing my ring alone because I was like self-conscious of
I
this finger.
honestly can't
Honestly,
see.
Mimi, I
when I
really
don't
can't
have my
see
nails
it.
on yet,
Okay,
you
got
can
it.
see.
Well, and
This
also
is a little baby thingy.
weirdly on that nail, the nail art says I'm missing the tip of my finger.
It
Don't
says,
look.
Don't look.
It's
It
very
says gone
strange.
but not forgotten. It's very thoughtful.
Oh. So that,
Okay.
it's the Streisand effect. Don't look over here. Okay, so Mimi, you met Mary at a party. You
Hot.
really hit it off.
Hot.
Just
Really
It's
hot.
really hot. Lots of
It's a
chemistry.
really sexy
Ooh.
thing.
She asks you out on a date next week. You say yes. You're like, I'm into it. You approach the date. It's for like a week away. You approach the day of your date.
Okay.
And however, you just start not being into it anymore. She texts you a few hours before to confirm, like, are you still on for tonight?
We're still meeting at Lil Dom's.
At Lil Dom's. What do you say?
Can I ask a quick question
Yeah.
about my character backstory?
Yeah.
Is it that I'm not feeling being attracted to Mary, or is it that I'm not feeling going on a date?
You're not feeling like going on the date.
Okay, but it's not about Mary.
No.
It's just the day.
It's just a
Okay.
day. You've decided that you need to cancel this plan.
I'm gonna.
Okay, I got this.
I think I'm gonna. Do you think I should call or text? I feel like I should text.
Text.
I kind of
Yeah.
want to text you. Okay.
Text me. You can text me. I'm not going to look at you to keep it real.
Yeah, for sure. Hey. Hey, Mimi. Oh, I don't like that. Hi, Mimi! Exclamation mark. I'm so excited about tonight. I got us a reservation at Lil Dom's for 6:00, but we can always sit at the bar before. See you soon.
I'm going to
Send.
say about 15 to 20 minutes go by.
Okay.
Whoa, you're gonna wait 20 minutes to respond.
Well, I'm percolating. I'm doing a email in my drafts. I'm doing a response to my drafts because I want to
Okay.
make sure I get the words right because it's on text, which means you might misinterpret my intention.
Yeah, and this is like, let's say it's a cool 2:15 p.m.
Okay.
So like 4 hours before the res.
Hey, Mary! Exclamation point. How did this thing that we talked about at the party that sounded like it was really important to you go this week? Question mark. There's more. This
are
is
you
long.
changing the subject?
No. I'm just checking in to let you know
that's
that
a
I'm
good
listening.
tactic.
I'm letting you know that
Okay.
I'm listening. I was really looking forward to spending time with you tonight, but I'm personally not feeling it because there's some things that are going on with me that have absolutely nothing to do with you. I'd really like to make a plan right now when I can see you again, and I'd really like to make sure that it's my treat to thank you for being so flexible and so understanding. Could we possibly have lunch in 3 days at this place? I know you're in this neighborhood. I'd love to pick you up and take you out.
Damn.
That was incredible.
Daddy.
I wanted you to mess up. I wanted you to mess up.
I'm wet.
I wish someone would send me a text.
That's all it takes. See, here's the thing. Ultimately,
That is class. You know
no
what that is? That is class.
That's class. That's classy.
Well, thank you, because here's what I'm trying to
That's
do, right?
classy.
I'm trying to say, and I probably would have said, like, thanks for following up with me too, right?
Sure.
I want to acknowledge that you reached out to me. I want to acknowledge that I'm still interested in what's going on with you. It's not
Yeah.
a blow off. I'm thinking about our last conversation.
Right.
Totally.
I'm thinking about that. And I'm also letting you know, not you at all. I'm having a tough day.
Yeah.
I would probably, because I like to dump my purse and I'm a little bit of a bleeding heart. I'd probably tell you why.
Yeah.
If I had a really good, it would knowing me, I'd be like, I'm cramping, sister.
Yeah, I thought I feel like period is always a good excuse.
I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
And then
We need to have a period episode.
and I'll be back for that.
Yeah.
And
Same.
as the period.
I am the
Oh
period.
yes,
Yeah.
you can be the.
I
tampon.
would love to, and thank you.
Or
By the
IUD,
way,
right? Weren't you-
IUD
you were
is
an
what I
IUD.
play, but I do feel very emotionally connected to tampons as
Yeah.
well. Which, by the way, put a pin in that. I have things I want to talk about with
Yeah.
tampons.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
But I also want to let you know that I'm taking responsibility for canceling,
Yes.
and I want to make you feel important and special and cared for, and like you're a priority.
Yeah, for me it was the like it's lunch is on me and I'll pick you up. That was
you got to be picking up,
Right.
honey. Picking
that
up
is
and dropping off.
Class.
See,
Hot.
when we say cancel your plans, that's what we mean. That's the epitome of what it is. We don't believe it's not.
Sorry, girl,
it's
not feeling
disappear
it.
Yeah,
on your
it's not
plans.
being a
It's not
flaky
flake
jerk.
on your plans. It's not.
Well, it's communicating clearly.
Cancel. It's clear, and also it's your plan as well. It's
Cancel
not the plan does not belong to the
your
other person.
plans.
Yes.
And there are ways, I believe, to communicate your needs. And
oh my God.
And that was a really well
respectful.
done text.
Thank you.
and
As
that
if a
person
straight
then-
man would ever send a text like that, though.
Honey,
True.
they don't have the resources.
You're
Well, they
right.
have the resources. They're
the
just
mental
not using
faculties.
them. No, they're just not using them. That's also the way that I feel when it comes to anything communication. I go, you have access to the same internet as me.
Yeah.
You have
Right.
access
You have
to the same books as
ChatGPT.
me. You have access to all the same emotional tools that I do. Yet no one's expecting you to learn them. People are expecting you to, they're holding a really low bar for you, and you're making sure you come up just barely to grace
barely
that
above.
bar. Whereas
Yeah.
the bar for me is going to be impossibly high for the rest of my life to take the emotional temperature of the room. And if I
Always.
don't manage the emotional temperature of the room, then I've not only failed in this relationship, I failed as a person, and I am
Correct.
somehow less valuable.
And that's
Damn.
and that's on the truth.
You see this dumb bow, and
Yeah,
you go,
yeah.
she ain't gonna be saying
She's
nothing.
dumb. She's dumb as hell.
She's
She
dumb.
looked at us like she's dumb as a rock.
Just
What the hell's
wait.
going on here?
She's covered in TJ Maxx jewelry. She is wearing
jingle
two
jangling down the
dresses
street.
at once. I was completely lost getting here. You think, oh, what a little freaking idiot. Well, joke's
Freaking
on
idiot.
you, because I have about 4 moments of clarity all
Great.
day, and
we
I
have
just
a bunch
used
of
them
math
all.
we've
questions
gotten
for
them
you
all.
as well. Just
Yeah,
so you
no,
know.
we do have an important little segment where we ask your advice, and we need you to take this really seriously, Mimi.
Okay.
Yeah, we do get some. We get some listener.
We need you
mail.
to be serious for 1 freaking second.
So we're gonna have you weigh
Now
in.
I'm being bullied. I'd like to cancel my plan right now.
Okay, so we have this anonymous submission from a viewer. We get so
We
many
get
of
flooded
them.
with emails.
Flooded with emails.
For
Flooded,
people asking
inundated.
for
People-
advice
and people from asking for
about
advice.
plans and canceling.
From
It was
us.
hard to walk in the door because there were so many bags of mail.
It's
so many.
physical mail.
Physical mail.
It's not email.
Yeah.
Okay. I set up 3 dates and he bailed all 3 times. Yes, I should not give him any more chances, but what is the reason behind this behavior? Please help me understand. I met this guy online, and after a couple days chatting on the apps. He asked for my number and we had a video call. Great connection, funny, caring, would text or call me every day consistently. Set up a date to take place a few days later, but then did not follow through with details in the following days and bailed last minute. Apologized profusely and scheduled a new date. He continued to stay in touch before the date and confirmed details the morning of the date. An hour before the date, he texted to cancel, saying he's too tired from the day of work and really wants to go home and sleep.
An hour?
Apologized and begged that I give him another chance because he really likes me. Come again. He set up a new date where he picked the place and time, followed up the day before, and said he'll be seeing me. Morning of the date, said his client had some issues with the work he completed the day before and said that he
business.
needs to go back to that client and fix the issues. Asked to postpone the date by a few hours. Come the new time for the date, he's still troubleshooting and will let me know when he's done. 3 hours
I'm gonna
past
fist
the
fight
date
this guy.
time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight him.
Same. I'm
He called to
upset.
apologize and asked me to send the location of a bar near me so he can honor his promise to see me. After sending the location,
Stop.
he said
I can't. I'm gonna
it
start
is
crying.
too far and he has
Oh
an
my
early
God.
shift the next day.
I'm gonna start
So
crying.
he decided not to come to see me anymore. Apologized again. I told him I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I'm still puzzled at this behavior and why this happened. Such a waste of time. Any insight?
honey, how much attention does a person need?
Yeah.
It's
because
really wild.
this diva needs so much freaking attention at every GD turn.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It is what I think is so interesting is that it's all about this person and what their schedule is. And I absolutely dated, known, been friends
100%.
with people like this. And Dolly, that behavior is never going to change.
No.
And I don't actually think it has anything to do with dating. I think it has to do with getting attention, having it on their terms, feeling important. This sounds like someone who maybe doesn't get the chance to feel important in their life a lot.
Wow.
And this is a way to create importance and to center themselves, which is a need that's not being met. And that's sad, but that's not your responsibility. And it sounds like they just love a bit of the drama.
Also, it's getting
Yeah.
married.
We'll say that. That could be true.
You
too.
think secretly married?
be
I know,
secretly
my
married.
brain never would have gone to that. I really need to
That's
fucking
so- it's
grow up
so
and
involved.
remember that
It's
people
so
cheat.
involved, but to me, it feels like I see something that I say too much business.
Too much business.
Too much business.
Well, what's his goddamn job? Is he in the Secret Service? Why is he being? Why
In
is he?
my mind, I imagined him as a contract.
I will
A client.
say- totally.
There was a client
but like
that was displeased.
that's he's taking his job too seriously. I hate when people take their jobs
Well,
too seriously.
What I think is interesting about people like that is whenever I encounter someone like that on a long enough timeline, I always go, what is it like for you? And I go, what do you mean? I go, what is it like to be the first person in the world to ever have a job?
Oh hell yeah!
Because I've never known
Read
anyone.
them to film.
I've never known anyone
Yeah.
who's been the first.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
too much business. And if it's this
Totally.
hard now, it's never going to get easier.
Yeah.
I actually would also venture to guess that this person has some major self-esteem issues and perhaps doesn't feel that they are deserving to be going out on a date with you. And this is a way to get a little bit of that power back too, right? Because most of the times we
Yeah.
behave out of pocket, it's because we're insecure about the things
and we're
with
trying
ourselves.
to.
Yeah.
Someone's been to therapy.
Yeah.
13 years and counting.
Incredible.
Thus far, I feel like this is the most jam-packed, full of legitimate advice.
I know this
That
has been
we've-
the deepest pod we've had. Actually.
Yeah. But it's funny
Sorry, I
because
should have been
it's-
more fun.
This all being said,
no.
it's great. This
You were
being said,
fun,
we
but-
are still very pro cancellation, but
Yeah.
I think it's an important
But
thing to
honesty
clarify
and being
that,
and like communicating.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're not in a place where you can or should be dating somebody,
Yeah.
then Dolly, don't date.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody need you to date.
100%.
If you are not emotionally
If you
or
don't wanna date, then
schedulally
don't date.
available, then honey, that is fine. That is so fine.
Totally.
Because when you say no to something, you are giving someone the opportunity to get something even better. So if you're going to string somebody along, you're not just wasting your time, you're wasting their time.
Yep.
And take yourself out of the equation, baby. Take yourself straight out of that equation.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
We don't need it.
We don't need it.
That was a good.
That is a
You really
word.
nailed the
Take
first date
yourself
theme.
out, mama.
Yeah.
Because you are not so fabulous that you need to be on the dating scene when you're not ready for it.
Yes.
This is slowly morphing into kill yourself. Take yourself out.
Take yourself
Don't
out.
do that.
No. Take yourself out of the dating
feel
equation.
that. Yeah.
Because that to me is bananas. To be like, I'm going to make your life.
What are we doing here?
I was
Because
getting
I'm not
like
ready.
actively like I could feel my body actively getting pissed every time he would cancel.
Because it was just so many times.
Yeah.
The
And
excuses
Dolly,
were-
maybe you're not in a place where you can date.
That's a really good way to wrap this all up.
Yeah.
Can I leave with one piece of advice for,
Yes,
your
please.
listeners? I was thinking about it when
Okay.
I was getting ready to come here. I discovered
Is it
something
don't
last month.
Listen to us.
Don't listen. No, when I was getting ready to come here, I was like, oh, I should mention this to them. I discovered this last
Ooh.
month. Okay?
Okay.
So if you find yourself on a group text thread, okay,
Oof.
and people are trying to like make plans, but everybody's busy because it's LA, everybody's busy,
Yeah,
and everyone
yeah.
has to let you know how busy they are.
100%.
Let everybody get it all out. Oh, sorry. Let it all happen. And then just go, it's one word. And I don't care what the gender of the people on that thread are. Gender's irrelevant. You just go, girls.
That's it.
Immediately people fall into line. If all you say is girls, people know the intention, they get what you're trying to say, immediately the plan is made.
Wow.
And you can use that.
I'm going to use that.
You just say girls. And if it's really tough, you go, girls, come on. And even though texts are open to things, everyone seems to get girls.
Girls. Wow, Mimi, that was wild.
You really
That was
really
beautiful.
cracked our brains open today.
Who knew that
Girls.
your pod would be the most serious, the most like
I know
life
I'm a
lessons?
little embarrassed.
No,
Of what?
I think I could have come in and given more of a comedy clinic.
No,
but unfortunately, y'all hit me where it hurt, which is communication.
Yeah. No, I think it's great.
And mommy loves to communicate.
We
Yeah.
can do a little dance. There you go. That's so silly.
I can't do physical. I don't do physical comedy. I'm too beautiful. People don't buy it from me. It's
Fair enough.
too hot to go physical.